Hello,
Hello,
and welcome
and
to another
welcome to another
episode
episode
of
of
Mindset Monday. I hope you had a spectacular weekend, and I hope today was wonderful. Now, for most of us in the US, we had a snowy weekend, and some places it is still snowing. It's just white outside, heaps of white things outside. But we're still enjoying the snow because it is one of the things of the season of winter, which is enjoyable for some. Some it's a hazard, but make sure that you are taking your time. If you have to go outside, you're taking your time, you're holding on, making sure that you're not stepping in any big puddles, but protect yourself if you need to go outside. For me, who have a kid in mind, I wouldn't mind going outside to play in the snow. But I hope you're having a warm place where you are and you're comfortable. Today is February 23, 2026. I almost said February 28th. I don't want the month to just run past like that because someone will be celebrating birthday in 2 days. And I want to make sure that it comes at the right.
Are you talking about me?
Yes, I'm talking about somebody who is in the house.
Peace, blessings, enough, holy, plenty, a lot of love. Wonderful. Yes, and we are in the best month of the year, of course.
after
Yep.
the after the first and the best month of the year. So yeah, that's fine because
Okay.
first has to be first.
All right. All right.
So it's
Right.
good that
I
you're
got you.
celebrating on the second month, the second best month of the year. So
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, yes, you are the best by every test. So, amen. Amen. Wonderful.
thank you all for joining us. And for those who will be watching the replay, thank you for your contribution. And I hope that you will learn something today. Now, before we get to the main thing of the afternoon, I just wanted to find out where are you on your money journey, your money exercise? Where are you? This is exciting for me because every week I see something new. I promised to give you a synopsis, or for those who start with the larger amounts, I promise next week to let you know where you should be if you have started 52 first week, 51 second week, and so on. But for us who have started the $1 first week, $2 second week, we are at February 23, and we should be
Well, it would be the Friday. Remember, it would be the Friday, which would be the 28th.
no,
Yep.
21.
Nope. That's Friday gone.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. Friday gone.
Okay. All right.
Friday gone. So we have $55 little in our little jar. I hope you're keeping up with it. If you're not, you can do the catch up, play the catch up. All right. So I'm excited. It's growing, though it's little steps, but it's growing.
And tell us how this work again. How does this work?
So
What you do
so
to reach $55? What did you do?
so
What is the whole program
accumulating
again?
accumulating from we started January 3rd. So every week we add $1, and it's 52 weeks in the year. So for every week we had for the first week we added $1. The second week we had $2. So as the week goes, that's the amount you put away. So the fourth week, you put $4. The fifth week, $5, and so on. So right now, we are at $55.
Mm.
And as I promised, next week I will share with you for those who started with the larger amount, the 52, 51. I'll let you know where you should be
Mm.
at this time. Okay? Thank you. So today we have a spectacular lady who will be sharing with us. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek of who she is because she's not the copy. Okay, so while we wait on her, we will share with you our topic. And we have been talking about flow.
The flow.
The flow. Let it flow,
Let
let
it
it
flow,
flow,
let
let
it
it flow.
flow.
So we're talking about flow. And the analogy that comes with flow, thinking about that river that flows to the ocean. Now, last week we were looking at creating productivity and flow. And let's just look back at the definition of flow. It's the ability to achieve meaningful results effectively. The ability to achieve meaningful results efficiently or effectively. I know each of us are different. Each of us have different aspects of our life. We are all unique in our personhood, even if we have the same career path. So everyone is individually different. So the flow, we need to make sure that we understand what we're about, what's our purpose, and what is our destination. So we are happy that the beautiful lady is in the house, and I'll share with you a little bit about who this lovely lady is. She is none other than Mother Miranda Sutherland. She's widely known as the Queen of Graceful Aging.
Mm.
She is an empowerist and the founder of a transformational empowerment practice called the Path to Graceful and Purposeful Aging. So we don't have to feel sad about aging because it's a process of life. With
Mm.
over 50 years of experience across education, theology, psychology, business administration, and personal development, Mother Miranda has dedicated her life to helping individuals and communities see aging not as a decline, but as a season with rich dignity, purpose, and possibility. Mhm.
Mm.
Through her talks, workshops, books, and retreats, she guides people along three powerful pillars: legacy and peace, vitality and confidence,
Mm.
and healing and harmony. Her work has inspired countless participants to rediscover meaning, restore confidence, and embrace joyful transformation in the latter season of their life.
Mm.
That's legacy, big legacy there.
Yeah.
Please join me in warmly welcoming Mother Miranda Sutherland.
Wonderful. That is awesome.
We can't hear you. You need to unmute.
Mm.
Try again.
You have to unmute.
Mute. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Clear.
Awesome.
Yes. So thank you very much for that lovely welcome, and I'm happy that we got the memo in terms of the.
The
we,
decorum.
I got the memo. I got the memo. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Thank you so much for having me and for that lovely introduction.
It's a delight.
So
So,
what will
Mother
thou have
Miranda,
me to do?
you are here to share with us. We are talking about flow and productivity, creating how to be productive while in the flow. So, creating that productive path. And based on your length of your bio, I know it's just a synopsis. I see you have crossed many paths. I see you have helped not only the young, but also the persons who are now, uh, what would I say, living a life of legacy, because experience is actually a huge legacy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for this opportunity to be here again. I think when you started out very early, I was one of your guinea pigs.
Yes.
By now I am grown and to talk about the flow state. And for me, it is indeed from a spiritual point of view, this flow state from spiritual doorway of productivity. So most talks on the flow emerge from a neuroscience, a time blocking, or a distraction hack, that I would say. And these are indeed very helpful. But my depth on the topic is how flow begins when the inner noise settles and
Mm.
Mm,
attention becomes sacred.
mm, mercy.
How this flow begins when the inner noise settles and
I'm like a
attention.
child. I have to write. I have to write. How flow
Yes,
begins.
yes. How does this flow that we're talking about begin? And I'm saying it begins for me when the inner noise in my head
Mm-hmm.
settles and attention becomes sacred. So you can't be paying attention if there's noise. Or to pay attention when there is noise is to reduce productivity.
I never look at it that way.
Mm,
So, from my experience over these decades, creating a flow state begins with stillness, not activity. I didn't try to
Mm.
be productive. That was in my earlier years. I stopped, I stand, and I become aware. So, it's very important. In other words, we're talking about reducing the mental clutter and to become present aware. And so I'm saying it's sacred when we turn to Psalm 46 and verse 10. Be still and know, stillness, knowledge, that I am God. So flow requires for me as a number one point, quietening the mental chatter. So we might want to just talk about that before we go on any further. I see that you
Mm-hmm.
are just deep into this thing.
Yeah. Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Yes. So I could move
Yeah.
on to the second point. Flow begins when ego steps aside.
Before you go to that second
Okay.
point, you're saying flow begins when the inner chatter is silenced.
Of course.
Do you want to just say the others before you expand, or do you want to expand on that particular?
Let's work on this. When the inner chatter silence is silent, you see, this flow is not from me. This flow is not from you. This flow is from the divine. So as this flow is being created, we are receiving downloads, we're receiving clarity, we're receiving direction, but we can't hear. How many times that we are in a conversation, and I love to go back to use the real Jamaican parlance, and we say, I say, you know, hear me want listen. You know, see me want listen. You understand? The noise has to stop. And that's the external. We need to say to ourselves, Miranda, Miriam, Dr. Derek, calm down, be quiet, and listen to what the consciousness is trying to connect with the subconsciousness to make
Hmm.
sense.
So in other words, if our vertical connection is not aligned, then all we'll be hearing is constant noise.
It's constant noise. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
In other,
we can't live on the horizontal because we run to a friend, we run to a relative, we run to a stranger, we run to everybody, but the clarity isn't coming. And I love to talk about my God in the rocking chair, like my great grandparents. And I'm seeing God or Jesus sitting out there rocking and say, let me see how long will it take to come and talk to me.
hmm.
And it's when we settle and we go and talk. So I have a mirror experience where I am called to my mirror. And the image I'm seeing is not myself, but it is the divine speaking to me in the mirror. And I'm awakened often to say, come and talk with me. So while we grew up with talking on our knees, sometimes in my own maturity, and I got this from about 2009. That was when I was first called Esther, or I called myself Esther because I got up one morning for the usual night activities. And right there in the bathroom, I heard the words, I want to talk to you. Go and read the book of Esther. And
Mm.
I'm in the mirror. I said, Esther, I'm literally talking. I said, I know the book of Esther. I've read it several times. So where do I begin? And I was told, start from chapter 1, verse 1.
Hmm.
And I said, well, where do I stop? He said, read until you get to a point where you will know to stop. And in 2000, that was in 2008, I was in preparation to be ordained as deacon in 2009. And when I reached where Esther was prepared, I think for about 10 months before she was brought into the king, it was there I stopped that as you prepare for ordination next year, you are going to be going through a similar preparation and purging as Esther was purged. And I was just struggling. Is this really what I want? And by the time I got to the end of the 10th month, that's January, the whole feeling disappeared as if it is just smoke that you couldn't see. And I was at peace. And
Mm.
then I lived for a period of time called to be an Esther. So in my documents, you'll see Esther. So
Mercy.
yes, you've got to stop the noise in order to hear.
So had you not calmed the chatter, you would have missed.
Okay. The whole aspect of calming that chatter, it how does one actually attain that when we are living in a society where we are constantly bombarded with information,
So that
constantly.
is in the second half of what I'm going to talk about,
Oh,
which
oh,
Okay.
which
my
includes
my
purging,
apologies.
includes purging. Yeah.
My
But but but
apologies.
but yes, indeed. So be still and know. When
Beautiful.
flow begins, when, as I was saying, when ego steps aside.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the simple but profound example or meaning given to those three letters, edging God out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So if we are behaving as if it's all about me and my plan and my agenda, there is no room for the divine. And I'm speaking
Mm,
now from my point of view. There's no room for the divine. We come with nothing to offer. That's what birth is. We come with nothing to offer. We come with no performance. We come with no script. And too often, our minds, our houses, even our vehicle is so packed up with things. No space to sit, no place to walk. We rent a house or we buy a house, it is as empty as it is. And within a year, you don't even have place to walk or sit. The
Maybe
kitchen
less than a
counter has
year.
no space. Hmm? And so we've got to look at how we have been crowding our world and in the
mm,
process decreasing productivity.
Mm.
mm. And so in this modern era, quote unquote, that we are living in, do you then believe it is more a detriment to ourself, being that we are bombarded and cluttered with all of these
Noise.
information and noise that we have around us. The TV is going. We trying to get dinner on the table at the same time. The children crying, and this is happening, that is happening. So many things in the modern life that we are bombarded with. Do we think that we are better off today?
It's a very interesting question because as a country girl, I grew up in Balaclava, St. Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up when I knew that we had one community center where all the activities were held. We had few churches, and we all went to Mr. Taylor Church because I'm having constantly coming to St. Luke's where I go to because there's harvest supper and harvest Thanksgiving. And we were a community. We cared for each other. So as industrialization set in and as globalization set in and as the opportunity expand in cyberspace, then indeed the attention that we should be given to ourselves, we crowd everything out. And our relationship, our attention to details, our productivity, all of this collectively has been warped. has not been as effective as it should be. A simple thing is how often do we tell how to do any to each other these days?
Mm.
Because we are rushing. Sometimes you can literally see people bounce into one another and not even have the time to say I'm sorry because they are being operated by the clock. Or then it's a
Mhm.
telephone and they're crossing the road and they are still down, not seeing people. So the closest relationship we have is between ourselves and our phone.
Mhm.
Mm.
And we don't even leave the phone on the dining table or in the living room. The phone is the nearest thing, maybe closer to us than where the Bible is on the night table. That is if we have
Mhm.
a Bible on
True.
the night
Mhm.
table.
True.
Mhm.
Yeah. So uh, it is the psychological state that we are in is self-conscious, is performance, it's proving. And so when we get to the flow state, then we put the no before that. No self-consciousness, no performance,
Mm.
no proving, just being the best of who you are. So this is just so important. And what does Jesus say through the great Paul? My power is made perfect
Perfect.
in
Mm.
weakness. Because we're trying to be all this mighty and strong person. And so there is need for humility. There's need for humility. When ego drops, attention sharpens.
Mm.
I
Nice.
think I think you need to say that
Repeat that
again.
again. Repeat that again.
When ego, we shed it. You say, oh, just imagine that this is this is ego.
Mhm.
You take this off. We wear ego so much as if it is a piece of garment. When ego drops, attention sharpens.
Mm.
Mm. Attention sharpens. Nice.
And so the third thing I want to say then is that flow begins when purpose becomes clear.
Hmm.
Flow
And
begins
and
when
can
purpose,
purpose be clear when we don't know who we are?
because we don't spend the time to find out who we are. And so we have to go back to basics. We have to go back to, and I don't know that it is being done as good as it should be. We have to go back to how we give guidance in our homes, helping to shape and allow our young people to be clear on their identity and
Mm.
who they are and whose they are. I don't know if it's clear enough to understand how the influence of our peers and strangers seem to outdo the home. I don't know if it is clear enough that when students are being prepared for the future, children, adults, world leaders, if integrity, the means of who you are, your values, your characteristics, are these things made clear, or are we releasing people who are confused in
Mm.
society? Yeah. And so you have children going on to college, you have them graduating and saying, I don't know what I want to do. And that to me is an indictment on the system
Mm.
because between the home and school and church, we should be helping our young people to be clear about who they are, whose they are, and therefore how are they going to be better leaders in society. So if you don't have that clarity, everything around you is confusion.
Mm.
As you're on that point, so how would you instruct a parent or a guardian or a leader in an organization in a setting to guide young people. Because I remember one one question was asked of a young person, and they said, just just go to college for 4 years. It will help to guide you into what you want. Just do anything just to come out, just to get that 4 years out. So you will gain some insight, and then you will know what you want. How would you guide someone or a parent or someone who is instructing these young people before they go off to college or while they're preparing for college?
We're very good at buying the latest outfit and the latest brand name for our children and the latest toys and the latest gadget. We're very good at doing that because it's a one-off.
Mm-hmm.
We do not spend time to monitor the homework from school and to understand the curriculum and the lessons that the teachers are teaching the young people. And so, if we provide the guidance with homework, then we could see what the teacher is teaching and expand it from there.
Mm.
It's more than saying, sit down, have you completed your homework?
Mm-hmm.
I never forget one of my the homework or two homeworks that in particular that when my daughter was doing that I learned about the kidney because they were not yet 10 years old, but they were given a project to go and study the kidney.
Mm-hmm.
In the
Mm.
process of carrying out the research, I was able to expand my knowledge. Another one was when my son was given the solar system to go home and design. And so,
Science project.
as a result of these projects, then we are beginning to understand, and we should therefore be expanding the discussion from there. So these projects that we have I remember finding the cardboard and all of them and stringing them with them and naming them as Jupiter, Neptune, all of these, Mars, all of these. I learned that through my children in helping them to prepare their homework. And then the third thing I want to say is career day and career planning should not be left for high school.
Mm.
We should be able to list as many careers and explain to them what these mean so they can open their understanding. That's why going back to Jamaica, we had the student companion. The
Mm-hmm.
student companion was a companion to broaden our knowledge.
Mm.
The other thing is that where do you encourage them to be a part of the different extracurricular activities? One of the ones I always, or two, I always recommended to young families, the debate club.
Mm-hmm.
Get your child in the debate club. Why? Because they have to research and present. So whether or not their group came first, they would have already earned because they carried out the research, they met
Mm-hmm.
together, and they discussed who was presenting the mood, who was rebutting, and all of that. They learned time because 3 minutes to get your point across, 5 minutes as the first speaker. How many minutes to rebut? That's preparation, not paid for. And the second
Mm.
one, I said, join the school's challenge quiz. You don't have
Mm.
to make it on the team, but the fact that you're a part of the preparation, you're gaining.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Nice.
knowledge goes straight into the exam.
Mm-hmm.
And they are sharp and they're quick because they have to answer again their time in the clock. So I'm saying it's not when you get into the workplace that you're going to learn productivity. It's
Mm.
way at the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember one activity as well that they did for on sports day. It was catching the bus. They were
Mm.
learning timing. So the shoes was put at one distance, the socks was put at another distance, the jacket was put at another distance, and they have to lace up the shoes, put on the shoes and lace it up. They got to put on the jacket, they got to put on the knapsack, and then they run to the finish line. Timing, all of
Mm.
these things. And one last thing, as I remember, because it was a very good school, St. Hugh's Prep School in Jamaica, they had what was
Mm.
called Whisper Hour.
Mm.
Mm.
How was that?
So all classroom know that they ought not, their voices ought not to be heard. For an hour,
Mm.
the campus was silent.
Mm.
Everybody was on a whisper. And they were learning to cut the noise out, cut the chatter out. And if you're communicating, you can do it with a whisper.
Mm.
So
Mm.
That's a very
I'm
good
talking,
strategy.
yeah, I'm talking about how do we develop the person, the child, to therefore take responsibility in the future. Yeah. So this flow begins when purpose becomes clear.
Mm.
Clarity of purpose, intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic, you've got to be self motivated. Nothing on the external is supposed to motivate you.
Mm.
It has to come from inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the conversation then. What are the steps that are required for this kind of profession? What do I need to do to prepare myself? What are the options that I have? I remember when I went back to Balaclava, one of the high school, to speak on Career Day. And when I asked what it is, what profession they're thinking of doing, a child said that he wanted to become a lawyer. And the rest of the classroom turned around and laughed.
Mm-mm.
And I felt the pain because all they knew, mechanic, tailor, dressmaker,
Just make up.
plumber. To desire to be a doctor or a lawyer was so far-fetched. So the vocabulary, therefore, has to be there for them to understand what it is. Now with technology, all you're hearing, I want to be an influencer. I want to be an influencer, or I want to be a baller. And
Mm.
so they are not aware of the A to Z that you can become.
I
So
think. Mm.
sometimes I complete, sometimes the confusion is they get a whisper as to, I think I want to become that, or, but I can't say it, make anybody hear because it look like I'm crazy. And where you go get the
Mm.
money from? And who send you go to college? Master,
Mm-hmm.
go down there, so go dig 2 yam hole. You know,
Mm.
the encouragement is not there unless you
Mm.
can break through. So this is where programs like us and the one that you're offering come in. So I hope that these 3 points so far make sense.
I think
Mm.
Derek was gonna ask a question.
Yes.
Is it a dilemma that maybe persons are not aware, especially us as adults that are leading our children? We are not aware of the role of self-actualization. Do you
For the
think that?
adults, for the
Yes,
adults,
because
if
we are the
they,
we are the ones responsible for rearing our children, you know. Yeah.
that's
I don't
right. So
think of.
we are the ones,
Mhm.
and we have to set our priorities straight. I've heard of others who make the adjustment to say, I remember before I had children, I used to be a party girl. I used to hang out a lot with the boys. But now that I'm a wife, now that I'm a husband, now that children are in the mix, I have to make that adjustment so that they can benefit. If we fail to make that adjustment, if we see our personal selves and what we want as more important, then that's an indictment on the family and on the children and on the future of our country, wherever that country is. So you see, first of all, we have children and
Mm-hmm.
we have adults and we have world leaders and business leaders. If we don't start with the end in mind, then there's confusion. If we
That's
don't
why there's
catch,
so much confusion.
that's why there's so much confusion, the end in mind. I remember one very outstanding um, statesman in Jamaica, and he shared his greatest pain. He said that at that time when you had dreadlocks and you're taking the marijuana, it was a big no-no. And he said when he tried to counsel his son, who was late teens, about what he was doing, the son said to him, when I needed you, you were not there for me.
Mm.
Wow.
Mercy.
So don't come talk to me now.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking at where he's at, and deep down is that he regrets it. But
Mm-hmm.
the father was an outstanding statesman, and he was also in insurance, and he was providing the money for the family. And they were in a palatial building, house, and everything, all the amenities. But the raising of the child was overlooked. Another child, when I was the NPTAJ president in Jamaica, National Parent Teacher Association president, another child said, all the things that I learned bad, I learned them at home.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
And what he said was, I remember I was speaking on what is supervision, because he was in the house, but he was not supervised. And so he was
Mm.
doing his own thing and getting up all to his tricks in the house.
Wow.
Wow.
So we have to look on where we have fallen short in guiding our children. I just said to my grandson, gave him some counsel about I can't, I don't know, um, and some others. I said those words give you zero every time you use them.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Yeah.
know. You didn't even attempt. Spell this word. You didn't even call the first letter. So I say, and as a teacher, I say none of my students should get a zero on a paper because I must teach in such a way that I must at least see an attempt.
Yes.
They must
Mm.
at least be able to pick up the pen or the pencil.
Mm-hmm.
None of my students ever get a zero. No, because I have to encourage them. And, today I choose. What do you choose? I made a mantra when I was teaching, and I taught the mantra to my classroom. And as I walk in, it was, good morning, miss. Good morning, students. Today I choose. And they stand up. Today I choose to better myself. Today I choose to, I forget it now, but today I choose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So they know, yeah, That each day you are not competing against anybody else, but you are bettering your best of yesterday.
Amen.
Amen. Ooh, you are bettering your
Your
best
best of
of
yesterday.
yesterday.
Mm.
Absolutely. And then by the time I was doing that, I said, then now I take on what the athletes say. They talk about their personal best, not the other athletes'
Mm-hmm.
score. And the seconds is your personal best. And you are seeking to edge that up. And we know that. That's why we look at how many seconds Usain Bolt clock, how many seconds
Mm-hmm.
a Safa Powell clock. And this was the last second the clock. And they're seeking to better that,
Mm-hmm.
bettering their best, following the last one. So flow ends with energy, not exhaustion.
Mm.
Exhaustion is your ego. Flow ends with energy because energy is coming from the divine.
Mm.
Oh,
Nice.
So you walk away filled, not drained. You
Mm.
walk away not burnt out because you are just in a rest mode. So flow
Nice.
does not begin with doing more. It begins with being still enough to hear what truly matters. When the inner noise quiets, purpose becomes clear.
Nice.
And when purpose is clear, productivity becomes effortless. You're not pushing up no barrow up a hill with wet sand or with molasses.
Mercy.
You don't have the muscle for that. When purpose is clear, productivity becomes effortless.
I
We
think
often
there is
try to
another
enter
question.
flow by pushing harder. As I said, push the barrow and push and push. But flow enters when we release, when we become present, and allow clarity to emerge.
Mm.
Release and become present.
Mm. Shouldn't this be taught in schools?
Let me give you this. If Jesus had done everything, we wouldn't have anything else to do. And he did
So
say,
in every
greater things than I have done, you will do. In other words, he says, I'm leaving some things for you to do. And if it was done, you wonderful presenters here would not have this program.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mercy.
But I agree with you. I agree with you. And I believe in a seed. And what we're planting here is a seed because somebody is going to pick it up.
Amen.
Somebody is going to pick it up. Dr. Derek and Miriam, Monday. Tell them the program. What is this program again?
Mindset,
Mindset Monday.
Mindset
because
Monday.
it's
It's
really all
about
about the
the mind.
mindset, you know.
It's all about the mindset. Yeah.
And in every aspect of life, we have to use the mindset.
It's imperative.
Imperative.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I don't see why, you know, it is not, it is not even um because you can never exhaust the topic of the mindset. You
Yeah.
can never exhaust it because it has to do with every facet
Of life.
of life, every
Yeah.
facet. Um, how to become a parent, how to become a child, how to become everything, how to seek career, what to do in having a prosperous or a successful life. The difference between a um, pessimistical mindset
Yep.
and an optimistical mindset.
Yeah.
It is used every day,
It's
right?
just, I was talking to you about, I'm just talking to my grandson, and I can't, and it's hard, and so on. And today I was at the office,
Hmm.
and a call came in. It's the first I was getting a call at this office where I am. And I spoke with the caller. Call was transferred, use it on this phone, and this caller said, uh, can you transfer me back to the operator? And I was about to say, I don't know what to do. And in that split second, I said, do you remember what you just taught your grandson?
Uh-huh.
Mm.
So often we teach others the good things, and we do. And I I felt that tug, and I said, change those words. I
Mm.
said, I have never done this before, but let me try.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
But
You know
let
why
me
you
try.
pointed at me?
Yeah,
Mm.
say
Mm.
that.
Mm. Mm.
He will tell you.
Go
Go.
ahead, go ahead, go
No,
ahead,
you should go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Now, there's so many times where we're talking, and he will say something with the negative word, and I say, "Can you rephrase it and say it in the
Positive.
positive?"
Yeah.
And then he would say, "Help me." Then I said, "I can," or "I was, I was unable to, but now I can," or something to that effect. Say it
Yeah,
in
so
the
turn it
positive.
around. Yeah,
Mother
turn it
Miranda,
around.
have you ever been in a fight at school?
Me,
Physical fight.
that fact, no, I remember the day that some girls were going to fight me. It was you
Hmm.
remember chiffon?
Yeah.
They always seek to fight at the end of a school term, right?
Yes.
Yep. Hmm. Hmm.
So I remembered we reached at the bridge, and I had on my chiffon, and these girls came. I don't remember who these girls were. Yeah, that's the only fight that I remembered. Yeah,
Right.
so some girls attacking me. Yeah,
Okay. Wonderful. So,
that's
so
wonderful
when
that they attacked me.
no,
No.
wonderful that you were in a fight, so you know exactly what I'm going to be talking about right now. Have you, when you were engaged in that fight, did you ever try to punch yourself or hit yourself?
No.
No, no, no. But but unfortunately, we do that with words.
Yes.
We hit ourselves with words. We punch ourselves with words when we speak down to ourselves. We do that. It happens so naturally now because that's us
A habit.
a habit. So we
Right.
do it so often that after a while it just become natural. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do that. No, I won't be able to do that. So we punch ourselves, putting down our own selves. And so, you know, that's and I really thank my wife for helping me where that is this concern because you do it unawares most of the time
Because
because
Sometimes.
again,
it's just the lingua
it's a
so to
lingua.
speak.
I I go back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's what is poured into you from the beginning, and it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a part of you. It
Mm.
became noticeable with my daughter. She was she's an excellent science teacher. And she came home once and she was sharing just some things that happened as they sat in the staff room. And she said, Mommy, every time I'm singing, people ask me about the songs I sing because they're always Christian songs.
Mhm.
Because that's what was poured into her. So if she
Mm.
feels like singing, it's going to be a Christian song
Mhm.
that's going to float. Those who grow up in areas where there's a lot of swear word
Mm.
and bad words and all of that, in their greeting, they're going to greet
Yes.
with bad words.
Have it.
Mm-mm.
Have it.
And it's natural to them and they are not cursing each other, but that's
Yes.
the lingua.
Mm.
If
Mercy.
they slam on the brake, it's a bad word.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Because that's what is inside of them. And until they reshape themselves to the extent that when they do and another one slip out, they say, sorry, I'm still in training.
Mm.
It takes a long time. Going back to those of the experts who talk about the change in the mind, how you have to replace through repetition and
Yeah.
repetition and repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I also grew up that way. It's Lord have mercy. It's Lord have mercy, or it's oh Jesus. But
Mm.
another setting is a instead of oh Jesus is a bad word. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's important then that we do the cleansing, which is the next part of what I want to talk about. We
Mm.
step into stillness with zero and we walk away full of purpose. This is the doorway to the flow.
And you have given us so much wonderful
Nuggets.
information nuggets.
Mm.
We are soaking them in. So
Yeah.
I wanted to pause on the other aspect until you come back the next time because that's a lot for us to chew on.
Are you serious? Okay, so
Yes,
there will be a part two, which is called the
definitely.
pipes. The
The
Wow.
pipe,
pipe,
the pipes, Pipes. That's the flow
PIPES.
state.
All
And
right.
yes, and so you asked earlier on about what do we do. I'll give you the second. P is to purge. You've got to
Mm.
purge the ego, the self-consciousness, and the mental clutter to begin to address productivity. So I
So
just
when
give
you
you
come
that
back,
P.
we're starting right
With the
there
P.
with the
We're
P,
Well, with the
starting with the
first P.
pipes.
with the first
We're
P,
start, you start
the
with the
first P.
pipes. Oh my
This is
goodness, we've
some
run out of time.
Yes.
wonderful. Yes, I was here soaking it in and I didn't realize the time just go off so fast. So just give us your final statement for today as we wrap up.
Okay, so my friends, we've looked here today on flow begins with stillness, not activity. Flow begins when ego steps aside. Flow begins when purpose becomes clear. Flow begins when time dissolves. And flow ends with energy, not exhaustion. This is what I want to say to you. Find time to be still and know yourself and know your God. And in that way, you'll be able to serve others to the best of your
Mm.
ability.
Oh,
Wonderful.
wonderful,
Wonderful.
wonderful, wonderful.
Just checking the varied YouTube platforms. There's no questions, but it's just that
Lovely
they
comment.
are, loving on you, Mother Miranda, thanking you. for an
Veronica Powell.
awesome presentation.
Mhm.
And so we were fully informed and elated of that presentation, and we are looking forward for the next one,
Part two.
part
Part
two.
two.
Part two.
Thank
Yes,
you,
Okay.
thank you, thank you. God
it
bless
was
you
an
all. It was
honor
my
to.
pleasure to be here, and want to congratulate you on stepping in the space as well to impact others. It's about the seeds that we plant and the blooms that will be there in the future.
And before you go, just to highlight quickly what you do and give us your website.
Thank you. So I'm the queen of graceful aging, as you were told earlier. All things to encouraging seniors to remain positive. You have earned your years and you need to be happy and thankful and do not allow anybody to make you feel that you have come to the end of any rope. The only person that can take us to the rope is God. So enjoy
Amen.
your time. My website is www.mirandaspeaks.com, or drop me a line, um, email info.mirandaspeaks@gmail.com. Or if you want to find me on Facebook, I am there, Miranda Ophelia Daly Sutherland, or
Mm,
Miranda O Speaks on Facebook.
mm. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Mother Miranda. And the information is also in the varied YouTube platform in the description. So please check it out and check out our website. She's also a well-renowned writer.
Mhm.
She does have
She's an author. She
author.
have two
She
books
has
already.
books. She has books,
Yes.
right? Yeah, right. See there, aging.
Out
Um,
loud.
Aging out loud.
oh mercy,
Yes, for
aging out
our
loud.
sins. Yes,
Hi. Wow.
it's
All
out
right. So
loud.
it should be on Amazon also, and the link is there in the varied YouTube description. So please.
May I just add
Um,
as well, for those who
mhm,
rise early at 6:30 PST or 9:30 EST,
yes.
I am on Facebook Live. I'll be there for the next 5 days. I do the last 7 days in the month. And what we're looking on now is listening to life, listening to life. So join us tomorrow morning on Facebook Live.
At 9
Nine, nine, nine,
Eastern,
nine or
9:30
9:30.
Eastern.
9
9:30
Eastern,
Eastern.
9:30.
Yes.
Yes. And for me
Okay.
over here, it's 6:30
Okay. 9:30 Eastern.
Eastern.
Um,
Yes.
and it's on your Facebook.
Right. Facebook Live.
Okay.
Facebook
Wonderful.
Live.
All right, thank you very much. And as we said, the information is in the description. So you'll see the website and the Facebook page and all of that. So thank you very much.
And until next week, we look forward to
Mm,
seeing
The
you.
the my apologies.
Oh, our our quote for this week is let your love flow freely, touching every heart you meet.
Mm.
Yes.
Say it again. Say it again.
Let your love
Love.
flow freely,
Mm.
Touching
touching
every
every
heart
heart you
you
meet.
made.
Mm. Yes.
Okay.
Until next week, looking forward to seeing you on another episode of Mindset
Mindset
Monday.
Monday.
Our lovely
Mm.